watch any of those old clips of those.
Okay, we'll call this regular council meeting to order. It's 3 p.m. and I'll please ask Councillor Russell to read the land acknowledgement.
Thank you. The town of Innisfail acknowledges that we are meeting on Treaty 7 territory, the ancestral and traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Kainai, Piikani, Siksika, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and Stoney Nakoda First Nation. We acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3, within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today, and for those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on.
All right, thank you, Councillor Russell. Moving on to 2.1, are there any additions or deletions? No. Could I please have someone make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Councillor Hystad.
Yeah, Mayor Barclay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? All right, carried. We'll move into the minutes. 3.1, the regular council meeting minutes for December 8th. When someone's ready, Councillor Wing.
Mayor Barclay, I will move the minutes from December the 8th.
Perfect, thank you. Any discussion? None? All in favor? Carried. And then 3.2, the agenda priorities meeting for December the 15th. Just have somebody make a motion, please. Councillor Hill.
Yes, Mayor Barclay, I would make the motion that we move the minutes of December 15th.
Okay, thank you. Any adjustments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. And then 3.3, the agenda and priorities meeting for January the 5th. Please have somebody make a motion. Councillor McKellar.
Mayor Barclay, I'll move the Agenda and Priorities Committee meeting of January 5th.
Perfect, thank you. All in favor? Okay, carried. We'll move into 4.1 with CEO Becker.
Good afternoon, Council. The report is there for your review. If there's any questions regarding this report or anything else administratively, operationally, I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for CEO Becker in his report? Councillor Hystad.
Yeah, Your Worship, to CEO Becker, I just wanted to, when I was looking at the report, I remember bringing back the, I think it was this traffic study. I can't remember, I apologize which meeting that was, but I was just curious as to when or where we had placed that in the future. That's why it's my only question. Thanks.
So Mayor Barclay, Councillor Hystad, so the pedestrian side or traffic
Yeah,
bylaw?
pedestrian.
So I'll put it to the director when he's anticipating to come back to council with that report.
Yeah, so we had the pedestrian safety study bringing it back sometime in probably late February.
Thank you, Director Kennedy.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, please have someone make a motion. Councillor Russell.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. I'll move that council approves the Chief Administrative Officer's report dated January 12, 2026 as information.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Carried. We'll move into 4.2, Council Action Control. CEO Becker.
Yeah, Council, I can walk you through some of these items and you can ask for more detail as you wish. We have reached out to Varma regarding an engagement with council. We have not heard back. I expect to know more end of day tomorrow when they can come back, but they said they would come back to council in the near future. We just not have solidified a date when they're available. Franchise fees analysis, I'll look to director, but I'm anticipating probably the second A&P in February is first draft, I'd say, to council. We'll be going through administrative review over the next few weeks. Community Services Council Committee, so that action item, administration will be moving to develop a scope as it's council committees, as councils in the governance realm. We'll develop a scope for your review on what that council committee review would look like and be onto your eyes and your direction once that scope has been completed and proposed to council. Arena advertising policy is on your docket today. The interaction with CPKC has been quite good through the director. So it has generated a larger conversation on the different agreements per intersection, not just on the letter you received with funding for an intersection. It's slated on all intersections. How does that work? And it's a positive so far, but we'll wait till we conclude that conversation prior to reporting back to council. So right now that item's still identified loosely as a outstanding item, but the work of the director will complete over the next several weeks, I'd say, with some good news coming back to council in the near future. The National Police Federation is slated to come before council on March the 23rd. Is there any questions?
Does anybody have any questions about the council action control? If not, we'll have a motion to accept council action control as information. Councillor Wing, do you have a
Yes, Mayor
question?
Barclay.
Or do you
No,
have a motion?
I'll make the motion
Okay.
to accept for information.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and then we'll move into 4.3. So this was, of course, a notice of motion brought forward at the last A&P about an opportunity, an invite that came to present at this conference in Ottawa, March 5th. So just asking for somebody to make a motion that we formally give this approval if we would like that to happen. Councillor Heistad.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Barclay. I'll make that motion to accept this and to put this on the record. Thank you. To accept,
Is that what you need, or would you rather, I think it's a motion to, the bottom part.
Therefore, it be resolved, council approves that Mayor Jean Barclay attend the carbon capture removal conference March 5th, 2026, and the town of Innisfil pays airfare and accommodation costs March 4th and 5th. So, yeah, thanks for reminding me to that bottom piece.
It's
But
okay. It's okay.
thank you.
No, it wasn't in a report, so.
Okay,
it's
thanks.
fine the way it is. Okay, no, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried. Thank you. And we'll move into 5.1 on the Rotary pump track and flow line project with Director Kennedy.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay and council. So I'm in front of you a report just to provide a little bit of background in regards to the Rotary Bike Park project, as well as a request to grant authorization to proceed. So a little background from around April to July of 2024, administration did work with the Rotary Club and Jay Hoots from Hoots Limited in regards to providing information on a bike park facility and doing a bike park master plan. During that time, they evaluated 10 locations throughout town, providing features and as well as different abilities for different areas for those locations. A report was provided back to council on August 26th, recommending that 4 locations be presented within that master plan, as well as proceeding with 2 locations, the soccer field and the BMX track, to be provided to public for feedback. From February to April 2025, we provided a public survey on our Involve website, as well as we had 3 display boards presented at the trade show, Aquatic Center, and the arena in order to provide public feedback on those 2 locations. All that information and survey results were provided back to the Rotary Club's committee in July 2025. The club then engaged Velo Solutions, who then provided a concept in regards to a pump track and flow line course. This was presented to council in September 2025, where they presented the concepts as well as an introduction to Velo Solutions, as well as provided some information on proposed maintenance and the estimated cost of the project as well. They were not looking for any capital funding from the town, just more information in regards to the project costs. However, they did require some support from the town in regards to ongoing maintenance and potential future replacement of the project. So in October, We presented back to council again a report in regards to the preliminary estimate on costs for maintenance that would be falling to the town for the project, as well as, again, at that time, no external funding requested. So at this time, we are looking for a formal approval of the project for consideration by council to provide support to the Rotary Club to proceed with the development permit within the town land as well. This would then gives the club an opportunity to start applying for grants as well with this formal approval. Should council wish to later consider a contribution toward the project in regards to capital costs, that would be a discussion made at a further future date. To proceed with the development permit, the club will be required to submit detailed site plans, engineering documents to ensure that the technical and regulatory requirements are met. We provided just a brief project plan that we can forward on to the Rotary Club to show them what kind of our expectations, I guess, and what steps we think are needed for that project. This is really just a suggestion by administration to the Rotary Club, not necessarily requirements in regards to public engagement. It is up to the club to determine that. But in regards to the development permit itself, provided a bit of a background for them to move forward with their project. In regards to service level impacts, we did provide this to council back in October, but roughly we anticipate a maintenance cost of about a $10,000 annual cost to our operating budget to accommodate the additional sweeping, mowing, garbage collection, weed whipping, as well as providing two annual porta potties for the site. And then we would then also incorporate that into our long-term estimates for capital funding reserves for the replacement of the site as well, utilizing about a 20-year replacement for the asphalt. So yeah, that's a bit of the background in the project, and provide any other information council may have.
Okay, thank you, Director Kennedy. Maybe what we'll do, I'll ask for someone to make the recommended motion, then we'll open it up for discussion. Councillor Strong. Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Member Baclay. I'll make the motion that council grants formal authorization to the Innisfail Rotary Club to develop the proposed pump track and flow line course within the town-owned property at Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 8923140, subject to compliance with all applicable municipal bylaws, development permit conditions, and regulatory requirements.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Director Kennedy? Councillor Russell.
Thanks, Mayor Barkley. It might be Director Kennedy, it might be another director, but I just wonder how this aligns with our recreational plan. Does it check one of the boxes off? Or I know we're going into a new study to get some results on that. I'm just wondering if it was on a previous one, because there is an annual ongoing cost and significant 20-year down the road cost. So just wanted to see where it fits.
So essentially, it's in the same location where there has been sort of a bike park, or I don't know what you even call it, the bike track that has been there for a number of years. Currently within our, the last 2019 rec plan, it wasn't identified necessarily as a high need, but it was identified that we had a bike park at that time, though we didn't maintain it to the same level, and it's certainly not the same type of project as what the Rotary is providing. We have been approached by a couple of other groups over the last few years with an interest in sort of bike parks and this type of activity, but generally it's been sort of an initiative that the Rotary has identified as something they feel the community would benefit from.
Okay, Councillor Hystad.
Yeah, Mayor Barkley, I've been here right from, when the first presentation is, presented to previous council, and I think that looking at the detail and the information as to the yearly costs, it's fairly reasonable. I think that the opportunity for this working, like the Rotary, working with many community groups and asking for and soliciting funds from different organizations and, you know, building that revenue to complete this is something that, you know, in my opinion, it would be good for the community. And I said it right from the get-go, it was really important. I said it last term. I felt it was really important that fundraising was from the Rotary Club itself. As to tax dollars, my opinion was let's just make sure that we're looking after the upkeep, but wasn't about funneling money to the project because there was an opportunity for fundraising. So I just wanted to put that out there. I think the Rotary is a great partner, and I look forward to you know, us collaborating with them on the project. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Councillor McKellar.
Mayor Barclay through to Director Kennedy. So what I understand is our investment in this would be the land. Is that correct right now? At a value of approximately $175,000?
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Councillor Wing.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Just a couple of questions then, just to clarify it in my brain. So it'll be on our land. It's a Rotary project. Who is actually contracting the company that will build it?
So
Is it-
Bellows Solutions is as well the consultant and contractor.
But they're on behalf of Rotary or on behalf of the town?
Rotary.
And then when does the town actually take ownership of it?
Would be at the end of the project,
As soon
and
as
we
it's-
would walk through a commissioning with
okay.
the contractor.
Okay, and then that particular facility then is entered into our asset management plan as far as what it looks like in so many years down the road? Okay,
Correct.
thank you. Thanks.
Councillor Russell.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. Just one other question, and I'm not sure who can answer it, but I do appreciate all the work that Rotary Club's put into this. I just wonder, they're going to be applying for some grants. There are probably general recreation grants that they'll be applying for. Would that conflict with anything else that we have applied for or will be applying for? Because there's probably limited dollars that they have to contribute to those. So just curious about that.
So just even looking at the list provided in the report, those are grants that us as a municipality are not eligible for. The vast majority of grants are typically available to clubs, nonprofits, charities. I know Rotary also has the ability within the sort of Rotary International framework to access funds for projects as well. But yes, we're actually often looking for groups like the Rotary or the Kinsmen to apply for some of these grants for our own projects.
Yeah, and I would also add over the last few years that the town of Innisfail has also been investing in capital in projects like the skate park and the playgrounds as well. So it hasn't all fallen on a service club to come up with all the funding, and so we want to keep that in mind as we move forward too, to make sure that it's all equitable. So anyway, thank you for the presentation, Director Kennedy, and I guess we have a motion on the table. All in favor of supporting the motion? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Then we'll move into 5.2 and the solid waste change with Director Kennedy.
Yes, so, Council, so here we have just an update in regards to the solid waste program and a request for a couple service adjustments to the program itself. So back in December, we did provide a report just in regards to some background on our solid waste and recycling services and gathered some information from Council in regards to that report. So the first request for service adjustment would be in regards to our organics pickup during the winter months, typically running between November and May. Currently, that's a bi-weekly program where it runs from November to the end of April. This is dependent on the weather, so if we have a nice April, those weeks get adjusted prior to when we send out notification. Based on the volume trend over the last 3 years, it's been a significant reduction during those months, so we are recommending reducing that pickup to once a month, starting in be the last week of February. So this would be at an approximate cost savings to the service of about $4,000 a month during those winter months for collection. Just some background in regards to the streams and some charts there. So any questions in regards to the organics?
Right, thank you, Director Kennedy. I'll just have someone please make the first motion, and then we can go into a discussion. If that's okay, Councillor Russell.
Yes, thanks, Mayor Baclay. I'll move that council approves the winter organics pickup to change from bi-weekly to once a month, starting in February 2026.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Strong, you have a question?
Through the Director Kennedy, just making sure I heard it, because I remember this when we had the discussion about it. So you're saying if it looks like we could have an early April, we could move that from May to like the second week of April, or if we approve this, is it based on November to May? As I said last time, I was a little concerned we get that early spring, and now suddenly you got green bins that are overflowing, waiting for a once a month pickup. So I think if I heard you correctly, this could be pivoted to change to April if it looked like an early spring?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, that last week of April is where it's slotted right now for pickup, but in March, if we find that, weather's turning, same with in the fall for the November date, same thing. If we're finding that it needs to be cut off earlier or later, we have those flexibilities to adjust.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay, we have a motion. All in favor? Carried. And then we'll have the second motion, please, Councillor Hill.
Yes, Mayor Barkley, I'll make a motion that council approves the additional Thursday pickup date starting March 5th, 2026, pardon me.
I'll just provide a little bit of information on that one.
I assumed we read it.
Assuming you've
We all
all read
read
it, so
it.
it's pretty
Okay.
straightforward, but yeah, just in regards to that pickup area, obviously, it's grown over the last few years in regards to Bella Vista and Hazelwood. And then also with the new Napoleon South, so was a request upon the service change by the contractor itself, E360, so there won't be an additional cost to the contract, but it will definitely help with the service level in regards to those two areas, so.
Sorry, jumped the gun, didn't let you finish, but, and thank you for the communication plan as well. That's excellent. Anybody have any questions for Director Kennedy? No? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Okay, we'll move into 5.1 on sale of a tax recovery property with Director Vickers.
Thank you, Mayor Barkley. So I do have before council an RFD for the property located at 503 746th Street. So the town did acquire this through a tax recovery process under the MGA about a year and a half ago. And once title transfers to municipality through a tax recovery process, it doesn't become a town-owned asset, it just becomes a town-controlled asset for a number of years. While it is our duty now to go about and sell the property. And while the tax recovery is governed by the legislation through the MGA, the actual sale of the property does follow our own internal procedures, our own internal policy framework. So we do have attached the sale and marketing of lands policy. It just provides the structure on how town-owned properties are eligible to be sold. And under this policy, administration can negotiate up to 10% below the listed price. Any offer beyond that does require formal council approval here. So we have listed the property and have received 2 offers. We did have a number of people run through and have some looks at the property. And as a result, have had 2 offers. The first offer was $85,000 and the second offer is $125,000. Both of these offers are more than that 10% authority, so they are before council before you. Administration is recommending offer 2. It is closer to the offer price. When we do a review of the property, we do have a look at the condition of the property, how it's been vacant for a number of years, and a couple of other things. And based on that, we are looking to go to offer 2. The current cost that we're able to recover is sitting just slightly under $16,000. However, we will be updating that number prior to the release of any funds. So when we sell this property, we do have to take all the proceeds out of it. We can pay ourselves back. We take that money, we put it into a special bank account that we already have created, and 100% of that money plus the interest earned on that money does have to go back to the heirs or to the homeowner of that property. And if we can't find anyone for 10 years, then after 10 years, then the town can claim that money. But we do have to hold that for 10 years. Yeah, we will be working with a lawyer at that end of the day to make sure that when we sell the property and the dissolution of those funds work well. So we will be updating that number prior to the release of that, but we will get to pay back 100% of those dollars to us first before we send out that money.
All right. Thank you, Director Vickers. I assume when it gets sold, it's kind of as is?
Mayor Barclay,
As
yes,
is?
it is an as is, where is.
Yeah.
We generally
Yeah.
don't. The offers tend to have things like financing conditions on
Yeah.
it for themselves, but
Sure.
we don't give any kind of warranty whatsoever.
No, fair enough. Okay, thank you. Councillor Russell?
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. What was the listing price would be one question. And the second question is, I assume the town basically has a lien on it. We have some money that they owe us that we want to get back. Are there any other liens on that property that we're aware of?
Mayor Barclay through to Councillor Russell. So the listing price was $165. Current assessed value is $158. The assessed value last year was $147. Again, our assessors haven't seen the interior of the property to do an accurate assessment. The house actually is titled in our name right now as a tax property sale. So there is no other liens on the property except what we have on it right now.
Okay. Councillor Wing, did you have a question?
No, I'm just ready to make a
Oh,
motion.
okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to move then that council approve the sale of property 5037 46th Street for $125,000.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Okay, carried. All right, now we'll move into 7.1 with Director Jenkins and Land Use Bylaw Review.
All right, so this is just an information item for council. We have initiated the review of our land use bylaw, primarily to improve usability, update with respect to trends and other policy changes, and improve clarity. The process will commence this month with the launch of public engagement information through our Involve Innisfail site. So Juanita, if you just want to click over. So the site is now live, so people can access it. We will be pushing out, directing people to it over the next couple of weeks. It includes kind of an overview of what a land use bylaw is, what the role of a land use bylaw is, and then at the very bottom, if you keep scrolling down, just it'll say, it says hot topics. There you go. So then there's a number of topic areas that have been identified, primarily through administration and even through conversations, the things that come up at MPC, looking at sort of approach changes that will be captured in this bylaw. So under each of those headings, folks can get some more information about what the current regulation is, what some of the challenges we've faced are, and then there's some questions under each topic area. In terms of timeline, we anticipate we'll keep the Involve site live sort of through the tail end of February, and then we'll be finalizing our land use bylaw draft to be reviewed with council. This work's being completely done using in-house resources and within our current department operating budget.
Okay, thank you, Director Jenkins. Does anybody have any questions about this? Councillor Wing.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. Through to Director Jenkins. So do you want council then to participate through the Involve Innisfail process for reviewing them, for all of the review, or do you want us to wait and bring it to council?
I think as a citizen, you're more than able to go through those hot topics and provide your thoughts and feelings with regard to those specific topics. But we will bring the draft and the feedback we receive back through MPC and then council as well, so.
Any other questions? No? Okay, I'll just have somebody make a motion then, please. Councillor Hill?
Yes, Mayor Barkley, I'll move that council accepts the report as information.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. We'll move into 7.2 with the arena advertising policy.
Right. So looking to have council approve their first policy of 2026, the Twin Arena advertising policy. So this has come out of a bit of a process going back through June. Administration requested input from council related to advertising in the arena and how to handle requests from user groups looking to sell advertising. So we have brought some information back throughout that time. We do have a current advertising policy from 2019 that sort of highlights our overall general approach in terms of it being an open and equitable process, some of the rules around it, but doesn't get down into the details of how we address different activities. Most of the arena advertising opportunities are managed through the town. So the rink boards, signage you see up in the stands, those are all revenue streams for the town itself. However, the advertising boards you see on the west side of the blue rink are marketed through the Innisfail Eagles. And we have an MOU dating back, I believe, to 2015 with the Eagles that provides for that. But since we have had different inquiries from different groups about how they can do something similar or not. So back in July, we presented some recommendations for policy direction. At that time, council asked us to reach out to individual user groups and bring back this policy, so that's where we are today. So at this time, the Eagles are actually the only ones who wish to continue to sell permanent advertising space. We did have some interest last spring from a new junior hockey team in town, which sort of started to spur this whole conversation as to how we would deal with having multiple teams wanting to do that. The Mavericks lacrosse group, they put up banners during their games and that sort of thing, and they're comfortable continuing to do so as opposed to selling the more permanent spots. So the new policy that's attached outlines sort of 4 locations within the arena on the red and blue side, where groups can market up to 15 wallboard advertisements. The town would receive $1,500 a year for the group to hold the location. Then they're able to go and sell that advertising for however much they are able to generate. The advertising remains up year-round regardless of sort of hockey or lacrosse season. Locations will be allocated on a lottery system if we do end up in a situation where there's more than one user wanting to hold specific locations. And agreements will be set up for a 5-year period. So we would initiate a new 5-year agreement with the Eagles for them to maintain their current spot. Currently, with the Eagles MOU, they're charged based on the number of signs they currently have, that they have displayed. So for this season, we basically go in and count on an arbitrary day and then send them an invoice based on how many signs they have up. So they would be they have 12 up currently. So next season, we would just essentially issue an invoice for a flat $1,500. And if they only sell 12, they only sell 12. So if there's any questions, otherwise we're looking for council consideration of approval of the policy.
All right, thank you, Director Jenkins. Could I please have someone make the recommended motion? Councillor McKellar?
Mayor Barkley, I'll move that council approves the 2026-001 Twin Arena advertising policy.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Councillor Hystad?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Barkley. And for full disclosure, I sit on the board of the Eagles, so just wanted to make sure through our chair and Mayor Barkley, if it's okay that I participate in the discussion. I did have, so it'd be $1,500 for the year for a team. using that west wall. I think when we entered this discussion in June as well, I was hoping some of the user groups would have had some conversations with one another. I think there's opportunities for, say, the Mavs or the Eagles or the Innisfail hockey. Maybe there's opportunities, instead of just using one wall for one group, maybe there's opportunities utilizing the west wall together. Just looking at being creative and making sure that all groups have that availability to sell signage. That's, I was hoping that would happen with the user groups. So I guess my question, sitting on the board itself, does that mean that the Eagles would be grandfathered into that 5-year with this policy starting if it's passed today?
If this policy is passed today, so then it would be in effect for next season, and we would initiate basically replacing that current MOU that we have with the Eagles with a new agreement for the next 5 seasons in accordance with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I was coming from when we discussed this in June. I was hoping that, because I see the Mavs as a partner, I see Innisfail Minor Hockey as a partner, I see figure skating. We get the figure skaters every Eagles game, they're there. So I think I don't know if we're ahead of the game, or maybe if we could take it back to those user groups to have discussion, but Director Jenkins, you would have had that conversation with them. So I'm just asking the question and here to listen. So I hope that's all right, Mayor Barclay, and in my discussion and deliberation. Okay.
Yes, so the ask was put out through our arena supervisor with her interactions with all of those groups of whether they would be interested in selling additional advertising. At this point, the Mavericks said they were still comfortable with their banners, and I don't know that minor hockey has I don't know if it's just the time and effort from volunteers to take it on.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I just want to make sure that I was clear in my role and in my questioning, and that council identifies that I'm looking at this as a partnership, and it's just not about the Eagles. We're fortunate enough to have board members to bring this forward 10 years ago, and it is a lot of work for any group to take this on. So those are my questions. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you. Councillor Russell.
Sure, and thanks, Mayor Barclay, just a follow-up to Councillor Hysted's question. It wouldn't automatically go to the Eagles the way I read this, because if another user group were to come forward, then you have 2. It's a lottery system, right? You just draw the name out of the hat. Am I correct? That's correct. The way it would be done?
Essentially on the blue side, there's room for 2 sections of approximately 15 signs.
Okay.
So if next season someone else came up and wanted to advertise in the blue rink, they could have spot number 2. Down the road, if there was more than that, then yes, it would be at the end of 5 years. We draw out of the hat. They may or may not get another, the Eagles may or may not get another 5 years if there becomes more competition for those spaces.
Okay. Councillor McKellar.
Mayor Barclay, through to Director Jenkins. So then, from what I read in all of this, currently the Eagles have 25 spots on their current MOU, and that is that correct?
That's how the current MOU reads.
Right.
They currently have 12 signs up, and I think that's as many as they've had for a long time.
And our provisions in the new policy would be 15.
Correct.
As I understand. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Councillor Hystad.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Barclay. I just wanted everybody to be clear, that if any of my councillors think that I'm offside in this discussion, it's a lot of work to sell rink boards. So as to the $1,500 and that, I'm not going to argue any of that. I believe that we're trying to come up with something that's equitable for all groups. I think if there was 2 groups that came forward and wanted either side of the west wall, I think that would be an opportunity for groups working together. That's how I'm reading it, and I appreciate Councillor Russell stating that and making sure that we're clear on that policy.
Okay, thank you. And Director Jenkins, not to do with this necessarily, but the attached policy too on the, just the general advertising. I know what strat planning brought up a community benefit fund idea. So I see maybe an opportunity, and we don't need to decide this today, put it in your back pocket, but if companies want to be a sponsor or donor, there's a write-off, but if an individual wants to, there isn't, because the town of Innisfail doesn't have any kind of status to provide any charitable receipts. So, no, I'm not going to make a motion today because that would put more work on your desk. We'll wait till the strat plan comes back. But I would like to see us down the road where I realize we have a community benefit fund with Elemental, but we have kind of talked on and off before about, a general community benefit fund where if there was donors that wanted to make a donation, and it may be a bequest from a will, it may be all sorts of things, but, I think to get significant funds donated, we need that, and whether that would be done like through a foundation, I think of, what what Gavin, no longer Councillor Bates does, but so just that's where my thought process was around the community benefit fund that I brought up at strat planning the other day, and it really didn't get explained very clearly, but there are significant tax implications for donation, correct, Councillor Wing? Correct. You would know.
Kind of correct, kind of correct. The town is considered a qualified donee by Revenue Canada, so can issue tax receipts. But there would be a lot of work required to set it up so that we're understanding the differences between donations and sponsorships and what qualifies and what doesn't. So certainly I agree. Let's get this on the table when we've got our strat plan.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Hystad.
Yeah, and just my last, I think I agree with Mayor Barclay on the opportunities with the advertising. My intent in June, just talking to, the rink staff and bringing it back to administration as well as, I was also looking at, and if this can ever be done in the future, I think it just, an opportunity is, if those teams are trying to sell rink space and advertising, I think that the town, we don't have anybody selling this on a daily basis. If there's one way that these groups could, if they're directing people to purchase advertising and that, it would be an incentive for those groups to, maybe there's a percentage that they get back. There's tons of opportunities there. I know Boss Contracting, they'd love to advertise. No, I'm joking. But that's why I'm kind of passionate about this. I think there is opportunities, but I think if the opportunities will come, I think it's sitting down with all those groups, once again, the user groups meeting. And, you may have a policy in play, but that policy can be tweaked to benefit all those groups. Thanks. I'm done talking on this. Mayor Barclay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we do have a motion to approve this advertising policy. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and we will move into 7.3.
All right, so another information item for council, just providing an overview of the scope of the Recreation, Culture, and Open Space Master Plan that we'll be looking to initiate here in the coming weeks through a request for proposal process. So essentially, most of what is in your report is sort of directly out of that, the RFP, looking at what the project's going to consider. So in terms of background data, we're looking for them to review going back to the 2010 Recreation and Open Space Plan, as well as our Trail Master Plan, which was last updated in 2023, and then the 2019 Rec, Culture, and Leisure Assessment, as well as any of our other sort of land use plans, our asset management plans, things like the Dodds Lake Area Rec Plan. So trying to bring together a lot of the work that's been done in the last 10 or 15 years, different opportunities that have been identified sort of into one plan that we can start to pick away at as we move forward. The process will involve community and stakeholder engagement, so sort of the wider public as well as specific stakeholders in our different facilities, baseball, soccer, hockey, figure skating, aquatic center users, looking at even the school boards, library, service clubs. The exact format of that engagement, we will work with the consultant, but we will be wanting them to utilize the Involve Innisfail site as well. I guess in terms of outputs, having them look not only at our facilities, sort of assessing, looking for gaps and opportunities in terms of facilities we have or don't have, and then the long-term plans for each of those, as well looking at our service delivery and programming. So budget time, some of our cost recovery, those conversations, we'll be looking at those, as well as the types of programming that's available in the community, whether that's through the town or through private providers. Are we providing the types of programming that other comparable communities are, and where sort of trends are going? And then not just in the actual facilities, but looking at the trails, parks, and open space places as well. So looking at our trail plan and expansion plans, looking at our natural assets, and then looking at park redevelopment and potential new land acquisitions opportunities that we may want to consider. Again, providing us with long-term capital plans, programming and policy recommendations through that process. We do hope to have the RFP out hopefully later this week, with it coming back to council for contract award the tail end of February, with the project likely to take 12 upwards to 18 months for the full plan to be finalized.
Great.
So open to any comments or
Sure.
suggestions from council.
Thank you, Director Jenkins. Curious about engaging youth, and I know with BASA, I believe they went into the school. Do you see that with this project as well? And
Yeah, so typically with the RFP process, we ask for them to outline how they intend to reach certain groups, and they're able to highlight sort of ideas and approaches that
work.
Yes, that they
Okay.
feel will be the most effective.
No, perfect, thank you. Any questions for Director Jenkins? I don't see any. Then we'll just have somebody please make a motion that we accept this report as information. Councillor Strong.
I'll move that council accepts the report as information.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. It's exciting, looking forward to that. Okay, we'll move into correspondence and information. The first one is Innisfail Fish and Game. So for a few years now, we have purchased a table to participate in this evening. And so if we want to do that again, I would like a motion that we've typically done the reserve table, the $600 for a reserve table at the banquet. So if we want to do that again, I'll just have somebody to make a motion that we do that. Mayor Barclay?
Oh.
Yes.
You go ahead. I have a question. so you
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion then that council, or that the town purchase the reserve table for the Fish and Wildlife banquet.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Russell?
How many people can attend at the reserve table?
8, I believe. 8.
8, okay, all right. And then my other question was, have we done this in the past? And obviously we have.
Yes,
so.
a few years, yeah. Yes. Okay, so motion to purchase a table, all in favor? Okay, carried. And I think I saw that they're 50% sold out already. And we have our CMP stats and something else. Oh, yeah, the Municipal Planning Commission meeting minutes. So just have somebody please make a motion that we accept the correspondence as information. Councillor McKellar.
I'll move that we accept the correspondence as information, Mayor Barclay.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Then we'll move into council reports, and we'll begin with Councillor Hystad.
Yeah, Mayor Barclay, I want to apologize. I just got mine in under the wire, but It's just getting back after the holiday season. Just the highlight that I'd like to say is last week with the strat plan, I thought it was really good with us to get together, look at what, what has been done in the past, but I look forward working with the council and doing some really good work the next 3 years and 10 months. Battle of the Badges was awesome. I think that usually the last few years it's been a really good community builder. So I want to thank Rhonda and the fire department and the RCMP for that. And then I have chamber meeting, and then I've been asked to do a 4-H public speaking judging. So hopefully I can handle that one. So thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Russell.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. I submitted my written report. Nothing really to add, other than I agree with Councillor High. Said the 7th and 8th were good on strategic planning. And I was surprised to see that the firefighters overcame their poor coaching and still able to fill it a win. So.
Did you see his goalie skills, though? Councillor McKellar.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Mine's fairly self-explanatory, except for under January 26th, bullet 2, where you come to the end, it says how they align with XXXX. I'm not sure how that aligns, but I will qualify that. I think the education we got from Director Jenkins that day really gave me a better focus on my role as a member of MPC.
All right, thank you. Councillor Wing.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I did submit my report, and I see that I referred to the Battle of the Blades, so I'll ask. That is a thing. It's not made up. It is a real thing. Battle of the Badges. Of course, we enjoyed that a lot. And I have Water Commission this week, so I'll be reporting back to you on that next week.
Perfect, thank you. I remember the Battle of the Blades. It was fun. Awesome. It was fun, yeah. All right, Councillor Strong.
Thank you. I did admit that I did attend the STRAT meeting. I was there, I believe. The historical village meeting I've never been one. We're helping them rewrite their bylaws. They've had stuff there from 2016, and it was probably more like written in 1990, so we'll bring them into the 21st. Also was asked to do some 4-H public speaking on February the 7th, I believe, so may come see Councillor Heisted for some help on that. And then I have the IDR MUG meeting coming up this Thursday in Drumheller.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Hill.
I admittedly need to sharpen my skills and be more punctual with my reporting. But I did attend MPC as well as strategic planning. Was this being the second time being involved in that, and yeah, definitely very valuable. I think that there's a lot of dialogue and thoughts that really can just totally take flight if in the right setting, and I really appreciated that time spent. And Ian McCormick is fantastic at kind of getting everything out of everybody that's in the room, so I really appreciated that. And then also for Battle of the Badges, I attended that and served up a lot of Slurpees in the concession. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch much of the game, but it was packed and great community event, so thank you.
Okay, and I did not submit a report because I really didn't think I had one, because I don't know. But I was at strat planning and the hockey game and stuff, and 4-H is coming up as well, different weekends, I think, for different people. So if you need any insight, just let me know. Councillor Strong has been there a few times, and I'm also an alumni from when I was a child, so that's how long back that goes. Yeah, so. Yeah, you don't want to hear about those days, but today had a meeting in Red Deer with Minister LaGrange and Dreeshen and some healthcare providers there, and I'll do a more full report on that in a couple of weeks. But it was excellent. And yeah, that's it for now. So we'll go into upcoming events. We'll just have a motion, please, to accept the upcoming events as information. Somebody?
I'll make that motion,
Thank
Mayor
you.
Barclay,
All
to
right.
accept the events as information.
Thank you, Councillor Wing. All in favor? Carried. Okay, and then we'll have a motion to go in camera, please. Councillor Russell.
Mayor Barclay, I'll make the motion, move in camera.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, carried.